Hello, I am Ken with Ken's Insurance Agency. We are a full insurance brokerage. This webinar tonight will be discussing life insurance and retirement planning and financial planning. Let's get started. The first thing in life insurance and retirement planning and financial planning is we have to figure out what your needs are, because there are several different things we can help you with. There's final expense, there's retirement, there is mortgage protection, credit protection, and many different things. There are commercial needs for these products. So we have to do a full financial needs analysis. Also, to let you know, if you have life insurance through your work, if you have a retirement plan through your work, do not just count on that. Do not depend on that. Have something outside of work. If you leave your job, if you retire, you lose that, except for the retirement, which is supposed to stay intact, but you will lose the rest. So it's always best to have an option outside of work that you have. So remember that. As far as the different types of life, you got term life. This is great for somebody young, just starting out, that doesn't have much money coming in, that needs something just in case something happens. It's also what is generally used for mortgage protection and credit protection. And it's set up to cover for the life of the loan and for the loan balance. The problem with term life is it's not permanent insurance. It's for a period of time, and then you have to renew. When you renew, you go through underwriting again. Premiums are higher. You're also older, so that's another reason premiums are higher. So even though it's cheap, it ends up hurting you in the long run. You're better off with a permanent life policy, to be honest. The younger you get a permanent life policy, the cheaper it is for your lifetime. Also, with a term life policy, you cannot get it after 72 to 80 years old. Once you turn those ages, term life is no longer an option. There are agents out here that will tell you to get a term policy, put so much money in a mutual fund or into a savings account or an IRA, and depend on that to live off of and to bury yourself. This is not a wise idea. If you actually look at it, these accounts that they're telling you to invest in and to save your money in, they are heavily controlled by the stock market. Because they're heavily controlled by the stock market, your investment and all the interest you earn is at risk. And the stock market is up and down all the time. So there is no guarantee. And we've seen, like in 2008, where people with 401ks, IRAs, mutual funds, variable life products, and we will be talking about some variable life products tonight. All of these and even other things, they lost big because the stock market took a turn in 2008, and it's set to do so again. We just don't know when it's going to happen. Um, so let's get into permanent life. The first permanent life is whole life. Whole life is great. Comes in a guaranteed version, comes in an actual full version, and it comes in a final expense version. Final expense version is anywhere from 3,000 to 100,000. You can also do a final expense with a guaranteed universal life or any permanent life policy. Whole life generally makes about 4% interest. Loans are around 2.5% to about 4%. So you want to be careful taking loans. Does have cash value, but whenever you pass away and you go to collect on the life policy, you get the face amount. You don't get the cash value. So that is a downside to whole life. Also, a lot of companies restrict the guaranteed version to a smaller death benefit because they look at if you get it, you have health conditions that put you at high risk. The next type that we're going to talk about is variable lives. You have a variable whole life and you have a variable universal life. These are highly tied to the stock market. You're investing in mutual funds with them. You have the ups and downs of the stock market. They're great for young people that want fast growth, that have a high tolerancy for the stock market to where they can handle great losses if the stock market takes a turn. But once you hit about 40, 50, you want to be moving the money out of this into more safe products so that you can start planning for retirement. And these products are also highly loaded in fees. Next, we're going to talk about universal life products. The first is an actual universal life. Great interest rate, makes about 4.5 to about 5% interest on average. So it's not making much more than the whole life, but it does make a little bit more. When you die, you get the death benefit plus the cash value. So more money going into the beneficiary's pocket. Can take loans on this. Does have cash value, so loans are possible. Usually comes with living benefits. In fact, all of our policies come with some form of living benefits. So that's great. The next is guaranteed universal life. With guaranteed universal life, you have cash value, you have the death benefit. It's guaranteed only to never expire as long as you live. It is not a guaranteed issue product like the guaranteed whole life. Let's see, the next is Index Universal Life. Great product. Earns usually anywhere around 6 to about 8% interest on average, but you can have it structured where even though it's making 6 to 8%, if the stock market climbed by 13%, then you could get that 13% in a year. So that is a benefit to the Index Universal Life. You have different structuring methods. It is based on an index of the stock market, like the S&P 500 or the Dow Jones or the NASDAQ. But your money is not actually invested in the stock market. The insurance company is taking their money and investing it into the indice. And you're guaranteed to at least not lose. And if the indice does make money and is up, then you make money. But if the indice goes down, then you do not lose anything. You just remain the same. Great for a retirement benefit, has cash value and death benefit. You do get to collect both when you die. So that's the different types of life products. Now let's talk about annuities. Annuities are a retirement vehicle, like a 401k, IRA, simple 403b, 457. The difference is annuities like the 403b and the 457, which are annuities also, but they are special annuities for instructors and teachers. Annuities, a lot of them are not tied to the stock market, and the ones that are, most of them give safe growth. The only ones that don't give safe growth is the variable, and we'll be discussing these. The first is an immediate annuity. With this, you put, let's say, $200,000 into it. It sets for about a month, and then you start taking lifetime income, or you can even draw out everything plus the interest it earns in that month. The next is a fixed. Think of this like a CD. You put your money in, it earns anywhere from about 2% to 5%. It is a deferred annuity, so basically you're going to have to keep it in there 5 to 10 years at least. And then it'll start paying you income. You can have it where it pays you lifetime income, or you can have it where it pays for income until it's used up. The next type is variable life annuities. These heavily loaded in fees, heavily tied to the stock market. You share in the risk of the stock market, and you can lose everything in it. The next is indexed fixed annuities. And with these, it's based on an indice like the Indexed Universal Life, but your money's not invested in the indice. Only the insurance company's money is invested in the indice. And you're guaranteed that you will not lose money, but you share in the growth of the stock market when the market's up. So it's a great retirement vehicle. 403Bs and 457s are a lot of times A classes of this. They are great. You can have it where you have uncapped earnings, or even where you make at least 13%. You share in the upside of the stock market. You do not share in the downside of the stock market. Things like simples, IRAs, 401ks, and other qualified retirement vehicles. The problem with these are they're heavily tied to the stock market. So when the market's up, you make pretty good. When the market's down, you lose big time. So they can be very bad. They're also not structured for lifetime income. So with you investing in them, basically with like a 401k or a simple, you're liable to actually run out of money by the time you have been drawing off of it about 7 to 8 years on average, if you're taking what they say you should be able to draw. Because you're also being taxed on this money, whereas with an annuity, you will not be taxed on it. At least not fully taxed. You'll be taxed on the interest it earns and you draw part of the interest, but the money you put into an annuity, you do not get taxed on because that's post-tax dollars. So that's the difference. So you want to remember this. And also when you get taxed on like a 401k or an IRA, you're getting taxed on what it is at that time. So if the tax rate goes up, you get taxed more than what you was really hoping to be taxed. Tax rates generally do not go down. They generally go up, if anything. That's something to consider. An annuity can be structured for lifetime income. You can also have an annuity where it pays for your lifetime and the lifetime of your spouse. Also, if both of you die before the money is used up, you can actually have that money go to your children if you want. You can also have an annuity for safe growth to where it's just sitting there growing money and you basically never touch it until you need it. You can also have it as a legacy to where basically it's sitting there growing and then it basically gets paid to your children or your grandchildren or your great-grandchildren or to a charity. There are many different ways this can work. So you really want to be aware of all these things. Also, with life insurance and annuity products, you have to be careful with them because if you want to name a child as a beneficiary and that child is a minor, you cannot legally do this because the child cannot sign for the policy to collect. But what you can do is have a trust set up that the life insurance policy pays to the trust, and the trust will pay out to the minor when the minor reaches the conditions of the trust, which are declared by you at the time the trust is set up. And we have ways to help you get a trust and a will, and we're fixing to show you those. And then we'll come back and talk to you.
Every year, millions of people face legal issues. And let's face it, lawyers are expensive. But as a IDShield member, you pay an affordable rate for an entire law firm versus high hourly legal fees. IDShield's law firms have over 20 years of experience in many areas of law. As a IDShield member, you'll have direct access to one of our dedicated law firms, so you can take proactive steps to protect your legal rights, such as having your rental agreement reviewed or your will prepared, and receiving legal guidance for things like a dispute with a neighbor or creditor. Your law firm can also write a letter or make a phone call on your behalf. When you have a legal questionnaire issued, you can simply call your law firm and a lawyer will return your call within 8 business hours or less. They're even available 24/7 for emergency situations. And with the IDShield mobile app, you can call your law firm at the touch of a button, access legal forms, upload your speeding ticket for review, and have your will prepared. IDShield makes receiving legal assistance easy and affordable. So get the legal protection you need and deserve, and put a law firm in the palm of your hand with IDShield. Every year, millions of people face legal and identity theft issues. You can take control of your legal rights and identity with Legal Shield and IDShield. As a Legal Shield member, you'll have direct access to a dedicated law firm, so you can take proactive steps to protect your legal rights, such as having your rental agreement reviewed, your will prepared, and receiving legal guidance for things like a dispute with a neighbor or creditor. Your law firm can also write a letter or make a phone call on your behalf, and is even available 24/7 for emergency situations. And with the Legal Shield mobile app, you can quickly call your law firm, access legal forms, upload your speeding ticket for review, and have your will prepared. With IDShield, your personal information will be monitored across the internet, including black market websites and government databases. We provide child, credit, and social media monitoring too. If any discrepancies with your identity are found, you'll receive an alert. You can use the IDShield mobile app to track your alerts and your credit score. If your identity's been stolen, a dedicated team of licensed private investigators are there at the touch of a button 24/7 to restore your identity. Get the legal and identity theft protection you need and deserve with Legal Shield and IDShield.
These people are living the dream from the enviable comfort of their designated work area. But if something unfortunate were to occur and they didn't have a will, do you know what would happen? What? Well, deciding what would happen to their bank accounts, their real estate, their little tiny bobblehead thingy collections, it would all be distributed according to the laws of their state or province.
What? That's unfair.
No, it's extremely unfair. Your assets at the mercy of some cold, unfeeling statutory formula? That sounds horrible. It is. That's why will preparation is of the utmost importance. And it's easy, because will preparation by a lawyer is part of your Legal Shield membership. The Prepare Your Will questionnaire in the mobile app will help you figure out what's important to you.
I figure no need to spend money on a will. I'll just write it out and stick it in the fire set.
Oh yeah, that'll work. Because kids always agree on everything. Plus, like I said, it's included in the monthly membership.
Right now, it's just me and the cats. I need to be clear. What should happen if I'm not able to make my own healthcare decisions?
Well, that could be covered by a living will and a healthcare power of attorney. And the will would take care of the cats. Get a pull?
Took care of my will years ago, but I probably need to get it updated again. My full vinyl collection cannot end up in the wrong hands.
Well, Legal Shield can review and update your will yearly if you like.
Really?
What would happen to my Instagram and all my followers?
Start with the Prepare Your Will questionnaire in the Legal Shield mobile app. Your information will be sent directly to a lawyer to prepare your will. Simple. And you won't have to leave what's most important to you in the hands of bureaucrats.
Every year, over 10 million people have their identity stolen. Take control of your identity with IDShield. IDShield monitors your personal information, such as your social security number, credit and debit card numbers, and social media accounts. We watch across the internet, including black market websites, government databases, and court records. We even provide child monitoring and monthly credit score tracking, which you can track right on the IDShield mobile app. If any discrepancies with your identity are found, you'll receive an alert. If your identity's been stolen, a dedicated team of licensed private investigators are there at the touch of a button 24/7 to restore your identity. IDShield also provides a password manager, so you can generate and store strong passwords to further shield yourself from identity theft. And IDShield even has a $5 million service guarantee, which means if identity theft happens, we'll do whatever it takes for as long as it takes to restore your identity. Shield yourself and your family from identity theft and put a licensed private investigator in the palm of your hand with IDShield.
Now, that gives you some information, and the reason I showed you the ID Shield is because with life insurance and annuities, just like with your auto insurance, your homeowner's insurance, even health insurance, they run your credit score. They check to make sure that you have decent to good credit, and depending on how your credit is, they can rate you higher. We will watch another video in a little bit, but I just wanted to come back to you and give you a little bit more information and all. So the first thing I want to remind you is, before I go into this, the other reason I showed you the legal shield is because with the will preparation, you can also get a trust set up. That's great for you. So think about that. And that's the way we can solve that issue if you want to name a minor as your beneficiary or even as a contingent beneficiary. There are some commercial sides. One, we can do an annuity for the retirement benefits for businesses, employees, and even for a business owner. We can also do life insurance for the employees as part of a benefits package. We can do buyout life, which is generally a term product, and a buyout is usually done when you have partners or like a corporation where basically if one of the owners dies, then the other partners collect on the life insurance to buy that partner that passed or is retiring to buy their share out, so that basically the family members of that partner can't come in and actually try to run the company and end up hurting the company. There's also key person policies. These are policies that if you have a special employee that basically does stuff to bring money into the company, like a special sales agent that's out there in the field working and stuff and bringing in big clients and stuff, and you won't basically, if that employee was to leave or was to get killed, whether on the job or off the job, that you basically the company can collect the money and use that money for the period of time that they are basically losing because that person is no longer with the company until they can get somebody else trained to take over where that position and replace that person. And that's really where it is that comes into play. And these are the basic reasons. And remember, with a benefits package, a lot of companies limit the life insurance policies that you can place. We highly recommend all of our life insurance policies. We can do term if the employee wants to do term. We can do a whole life policy. We can do a universal life policy. We would not write a variable universal life policy just because it's not really meant for a benefits package. We highly recommend annuities instead of 401ks, IRAs, because annuities are safe retirement vehicles. So we'd recommend your employees having an annuity instead of one of the qualified plans. We also know the pluses and minuses of a cafeteria plan, and we can explain these to you. We do not push for cafeteria plans, but we can help you set up a cafeteria plan if you want it, and to help benefit you and your company and your employees. And all. So if you have more questions on life insurance, on annuities, on financial planning, on retirement planning, and on why we actually do a full financial needs analysis when we're doing financial planning and retirement planning, digging into how much you're paying on health insurance, how much you're paying on your auto insurance, how much you're paying on your homeowners. Are you paying for Netflix? Are you paying for Hulu and all? Give us a call. We'll be glad to explain these things. We'll be glad to give you a free financial analysis, give you a free quote, do a free review for you, and we'll review as many policies as you would like us to for free. So give us a call. Our number is 662-292-6271. Again, that number is 662-292-6271. Or you can go to our website, kensinsuranceagentcy.net, and request some time with us to discuss these options. We work from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. Sunday through Saturday, so we are available pretty much anytime to help you out. And also remember that when we do financial planning and retirement planning, unlike other financial planners and retirement planners, we do not charge you for our time. We believe that our time should be compensated to us by the insurance company, not by the client. So we save you a ton of money by not charging you for that, and by letting you keep that money in your pockets and just basically pay your premiums. Thank you. Have a nice day, and give us a call, and we'd be glad to set up an appointment. We can meet you in your home, in your business, at a local restaurant that's got Wi-Fi. We can even try to set up a meeting at the Chamber of Commerce in Hernando. If you've got a Chamber of Commerce meeting and would like Chamber of Commerce registration, and you can use their conference room, and you'd like to set up the meeting there, you can set it up, and we'll be glad to meet you there. We can also take care of most things if you can scan us and email us any policies you got for us to review. We can take care of those things over the phone, over the internet, even write most policies over the phone and over the internet. So feel free to contact us. We'll be glad to work with you any way we can to try to help you out. And remember, we can also help you with your health insurance with your auto insurance, your homeowner's insurance, commercial, and even financial planning, and with non-insurance products like loans and merchant accounts, procurement, and stuff. So give us a call. We'll be glad to help you. Thank you, and have a good night.